What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the channel. If you were tuning in to my live stream earlier, this is the second time you're seeing me, and that pretty much just tells you how active I'm trying to be in this community overall. It looks like we actually did miss, unfortunately, a PEPE 2.0 Twitter space with a dev. Someone else in the community, High Function, for all of those that have been tuning into the Twitter spaces, is hosting a Twitter space very soon. So we're gonna go ahead and be tuning into that, recording that, and then just listening. Let's see if I could go ahead and hop on the chat as well. But you know, none of this is ever planned. So that really tells you the dedication that I try to put in, and I just try to be on the dot, you know, pretty much on call with whatever goes on. So we're gonna be waiting for that right now. Welcome to the channel. To everybody that is brand new, go ahead and smash that subscribe button for me, especially if you're a PEPE 2.0 holder. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button, like, and most importantly, go ahead and comment down below your opinions on what we're talking today, or any projects you want me to go ahead and review. I've been liking the feedback everybody has been pushing out there, supporting the channel. If you are a PEPE 2.0 holder as well, I do want to go ahead and mention, go ahead and make sure to like and comment on all the previous videos related to PEPE 2.0. And if they're not related to PEPE 2.0, go ahead and smash the like button, comment PEPE 2.0, hashtag PEPE 2.0 or something on all the videos to go ahead and get them popping, get more people to go ahead and see those comments and see what the community is all about. We talked about earlier about the stream that one of the biggest functions that we're going to be looking for moving forward is really having the community to go ahead and push that. So we're going to go ahead and see if High Function has posted his Twitter space yet. We're going to go ahead and wait on that. On the meantime, we're just going to go ahead and look at the charts, see how everything's going on right now with the community, overall market sentiment. Like I said, I mean, it's pretty much, I've almost been streaming literally all day. I streamed in the last couple hours and took a quick nap, and now I woke up to another stream. Unfortunately, I missed one of the VCs. So hopefully we could go ahead and get a little bit more information on today's space and see what we missed. But it looks like we are going to be going live right now. So High Function has started this space, and we're going to go ahead and hopefully join. Let's see if we can join. Start listening in. There you go. So we have officially joined. Go ahead and make sure to smash the like and retweet button on this space. Let me see if I can share it or something. You got the bangers on now. Woo! Happy Friday, happy Saturday for everybody. This is my weekend, right? Tuning into Twitter Spaces on a Friday or Saturday night, you know. Kind of tells you the dedication that we have going on here for the community, right? So go ahead and make sure to smash that subscribe button for me. Really do appreciate that. Go ahead and join back onto the Twitter spaces due to the fact that I do not want none of this content to go ahead and get copyrighted. The music that I use specifically is non-copyrighted music, so that's kind of the reason why I don't mind playing it here. But yeah, we don't want to go ahead and get copyrighted due to the fact that we do get copyrighted. Copyright. I can't even speak right now. I can't even think. I'm like half asleep, half awake. If we get copyrighted, you know, all the other viewers will not be able to go ahead and watch any of this content. So we definitely don't want that to happen. So we're gonna go ahead and wait a couple more minutes. He's going live right now. Anyways, he's waiting for a little bit more people to tune in. So in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and listen to our non-copyrighted music, right? So let me go ahead and let's go ahead and get the groove going. Welcome. And in the meantime, let me go ahead and see what's going on in Twitter spaces and everything. I'm going to mute myself So don't think I'm ignoring anybody, but we're just patiently waiting for the Twitter space is going to be hopping in right in a few minutes.
Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their
We still got the music going on high functions. Everybody's joining right now. Go ahead, if you are on Telegram or Twitter, go ahead and head over to Telegram. Go ahead and start pumping up the chat. Head over to Twitter Spaces. High Function and Skrilla are going to be hosting this, so go ahead and tune in. This definitely helps push PEPE 2.0 content even further. I'm not sure if you can see that, but that's Twitter Space right now. An easiest way to go ahead and find that too is by following my Twitter page, ALTCOIN John, right here, and you'll go ahead and see me retweeting that very, very soon. Give me 1 second.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done.
Everybody, it's live on my Twitter now, so you guys can go ahead and join directly to go ahead and find the space a lot quicker. You could either go ahead and stay tuned onto the YouTube directly. I'm streaming either way, or go ahead and join both. You know, it definitely helps support the channel and PEPE 2.0 overall. Looks like High Function has officially started the Twitter space. Let's go ahead and join them right now. Go ahead and make sure to watch to the end of the video because I will be going over TA, and let's go ahead and see what's going on overall with the news.
I think yesterday too we heard KuCoin was going to delist the ticker, but then today we see that they have more of the supply held in their wallet on their holder account. I think they're the second under MEXC, which right now that is currently. Let me refresh the page.
I find it a little hard to hear him. Anybody else having that issue?
Protect the LP in the sense that the devs and everybody, the contract's not renounced.
That muted it by accident.
Plans for this, and so whatever those plans are, I mean, number one plan is protect the LP, and so if everybody can anticipate, hey, this thing's gonna moon tomorrow at 8 p.m. or whatever, right? Then everybody's gonna pile in and pile out, and so really what this is, it's just simmering down. Everything's just quieting down. The people that are really here for it, people that really believe in it, are going to be the ones that take that big green candle, that first initial ride. And so it does come back to collect people that missed out in the beginning, and so it's going to come back down, and it has. I thought that 3,500. I call it 3,500, but what, 6 zeros, 3,500 mark. Um, and now it's leveling out. And so I think there's going to be a duration of that. It's really going to just chill out. And so you just got to let that ETH cook. All those tokens you just got to let them cook because you never know. It's not going to do an RFD, in my opinion. It's not going to cook for a year and then all of a sudden blow off to the moon. So I think that we're seeing something coming soon. Um, but really, it's it's that mysteriousness of what are we trying to achieve. And so from what I've seen, I've just seen that we're getting closer to that 10%. And that's the goal, right? Is people need to G it out to really get that to a healthy place. And so seeing kind of my French, but it's just not healthy unless it's like 10%. Really healthy is 20%. And so we're seeing that come back down. I'm feeling a lot more confident. I've retaken a position, and not my full position, but I've retaken a position, and really confident this is going to go. I appreciate all the work you do and the updates. The people that are working, the people that don't have all day to really look at this thing, they can just kind of glance and see, some of your commentary, some of your assessment, and it really helps everyone to really maneuver, how they're going to trade this thing. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, man. I'm watching it myself, and I think one of the things was when I started calling things on the way up and I was hitting targets, I was like, I'm not just going to disappear on the way down either. I'm going to just keep it 100 with what I'm doing and let people make their own decisions. And hopefully, somewhere in between, they listen to a few things I say and they can kind of make their own decisions as well, right? I think sometimes I have people pull up on my DMs and they want me to make a decision for them. And I'm always going to meet that with telling them that I cannot, because that's not my place. But yeah, I think that, maybe we'll have a test of this 3,500 level at some point, maybe. But when I look at like a 1 hour chart and I turn all the lines off and just like kind of zoom out, you can see it trying to consolidate down to a flat level. And I mean, we're about there, you know. So in my opinion, that only lasts for so long. And then, you either go up or you go down from there. So that's why I've been watching, holder count because the volume hasn't always been great. It's like a lot of people are sitting and waiting, which I'm not going to lie, I have been to myself. I haven't been, going all in. I've been playing side plays and kind of just leaving this thing where it's at, watching it find and like build this floor. But the more times it tests that floor without failing, I think the more confidence I have in holding and accumulating at that floor. Um, so I mean, floor strength right here is really important, and I guess that's really a measure of sentiment of the community. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I wanted to bring my 20 ETH back into it, I'd really want to make sure that everybody's squeezed, exhausted, they've given up. That's what I want. Like, you all need to just give up, sell your bags. Let's bring this down to a level that I'm ready to come back in because I want it cheap. I mean, I'm not thinking about, hey, everybody. I mean, it's a beautiful community. I love it. That's why I'm here. But at the same time, if I'm going to bring my 20 ETH back in, I want to see this thing so relaxed that nobody wants it until I start moving it. And have you ever spent 20 ETH on a token? You can't just drop it. You've got to just feather it in, and it's actually a bit of work. You've got to program the bots and the buy bots and all that stuff. I mean, at this point, I can only do 4 wallets at a time, but you can only bring so much so fast, and so really, I just need everybody to give up. So one more tank, and I'm going to feel comfortable. So if everybody could push it down to maybe like the 2,700 level, I'd be grateful.
Sheesh. I hear that though. I mean, everyone has their risk on spots, and you either hit them or you don't. And then if you don't, then you're chasing them. But then when you're talking about dealing with ETH like that, definitely, you know what I mean. You're trying to make the best. So that's that's interesting for sure, for sure, for sure. And I'm sure you're not the only one sitting there looking to do that kind of trading. I mean, you can see it in almost all of these tickers. There's plenty of bots. There's usually one or two main ones, is what I'm noticing, and then there's a bunch of other random ones doing kind of like their own thing or following in step. Go ahead. You're the only one up here. I think we can exchange back and forth.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, and I mean, so it really doesn't, Dex tools and that doesn't call out bots unless it's doing multiple transactions with at the same like millisecond or sandwiching something. So there's a lot of activity that is botted that Dex Tools is not calling out as bots. It gives you a little red bot symbol. Um, and so unless it happens all at the same time, like buy, sell, all this other stuff, sandwiching somebody, those are the Mev bots. Those aren't really called. Or those are called out, but what's not really called out is people buying in, and you have to bot that, right? Because how else are you going to trade 4 wallets at a time and not attract a bunch of attention and get Jared in there eating your sandwiches and doing all this fun stuff, right? So there's the sniper bots you got to use to get in, and also you got to use them to get out, but it doesn't call those out. So the botted activity in any of these tokens, especially high volume tokens, is much higher than people realize.
Man, appreciate you, hosting this space. I've been in the talks with you. I like the fact that you keep on going with the community, and most importantly, you're still holding your ground based on like what's been going on with the market, right? But one thing that I also wanted to go ahead and mention, we also have to go ahead and look at, with leverage trading, we also have to go ahead and worry about like the liquidations, and I think that's kind of an opportunity for a lot of us, especially if we do go ahead and break lower, which I think it's a high probability based on my opinion on what the market is doing, and looking at the DXY and Bitcoin in general. Obviously it's meme coin, so it could literally pump 30, 40, 60, 80x literally tomorrow, right? Because in reality we really don't know what could happen. But based on what is going on, I think we could go ahead and see a further dump, in my opinion, down. I think 8 million market cap might be an area that a lot of whales are looking at, just like the last speaker just even said it himself. I think a lot of the people are just waiting on the sideline. I think that's what a lot of people are looking at right now at the moment. And I think one of the high probabilities that we could also be seeing is a short squeeze coming up. So if we do go ahead and dump, I think in my opinion, based on how we are with all these big exchanges, I think there's a high probability that we could have a short squeeze going up where shorts are going to get liquidated, causing the pump to continue to go up. And we kind of saw that going back on the biggest pump when we went and got listed on the other exchanges at 95 million. If you're looking at, I was trading that swing on MEXC, and if you actually go ahead and look at its all-time high there, but it's still actually, I think, a little bit higher than it is on DEX tools. If I'm not mistaken, it probably hit and triggered like the 0.35 area around that, and that was due to shorts getting liquidated. So I think that's what could be going on as well, is that once we do go ahead and get done with this consolidation, I do believe that shorts will go ahead and get liquidated and causing a bigger pump to the upside. Obviously we have the FOMO coming in, where people are scared and they're panicking, they want to jump in without missing the next pump. And I think that's really going to push it, especially if we do have that volume and that sentiment coming up. Just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. The FOMO coming in, where people are scared and they're panicking, they want to jump in without missing the next pump. And I think that's really going to push it, especially if we do have that volume and that sentiment coming up. Just wanted to go ahead and throw that out there.
I think it's a super fair take. For sure.
Honestly, yes. I think if we don't go ahead and get any more volume coming into BTC, looking at base what I've been seeing on the market and the overall sentiment, I really like to go ahead and track the DXY a lot. Typically the DXY, when the DXY goes up, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies go down, and when the DXY goes down, cryptocurrencies go up, right? So the overall market sentiment, in my opinion, we always have to go ahead and look at the traditional markets, because unfortunately we are still kind of a little bit tied up, especially to the US market, unfortunately. But it's not always the case, right? Sometimes it does correlate, sometimes it doesn't correlate too well. But based on that, I think if Bitcoin doesn't see a pump coming up soon, I think we could go ahead and dump down to like the $27,000 area. And if that support is not hold, which is a kind of a high probability in my opinion, I think we could go ahead and see a dump down to 24,000, and then that being the last buying opportunity before having making a leg up to around $39,000 Bitcoin, because I think it's still possible. I don't think we're in a bull run yet. That's what we have to keep in mind. We are still in a bear market, and I think we will have many bull runs, but we're not officially like in that big massive pump that a lot of people are waiting for, in my opinion. Probably till 2024 to 2025 when we look at the Bitcoin halving, right? And a lot of people are saying, you can't go ahead and compare that to the traditional markets, but if you look at the way big money moves, usually it moves from the stock market over to crypto, and then from crypto it moves to the altcoins, and then from altcoins it moves to the meme coins. So when people start making more money into these less riskier assets such as Bitcoin and the stock market, even though we both know it's pretty risky, but when people start making money there, and it's not as volatile as, let's say, meme coins, right? When that money flows in from Bitcoin, it moves over to altcoins, and from that money goes into a lot riskier assets such as meme coins, where people have not only bigger backs now, but now are willing to go ahead and risk a little bit more because they made their money in the less volatile assets. So that's what I think is going to be happening.
like the way that the economy is going, what we're seeing with the economies around the world, using Bitcoin as like a kind of like a padding?
That's actually a great question. Yeah. So one thing that I tell everybody is that in order for the crypto market to go up, especially anything related to cryptocurrencies, we need Bitcoin to go ahead and show more action into more people wanting to buy these assets, right? Because at the end of the day, crypto is still looked at as that riskier asset. So if you've noticed, now we have this whole entire, this Ripple lawsuit going through. People are getting hyped up, and it just so happens that this is kind of all leading to the halving, right? So what's really important is looking at the dollar index, which is the DXY, how the dollar is performing. And in my opinion, I think, like I told you earlier, I think the dollar is going to go up. I think there might be a retracement around the 103 area. I literally called it in my stream yesterday. It was at 99, and right now it's at 101, and we're looking at the market already taking that hit. So I think there's a high probability that we could either go ahead and see the dollar hitting the 103 or even hitting the 105 area and then getting rejected, which is very bullish, because what we need is the traditional financial markets to go ahead and take a hit. We need the U.S. economy to take a hit. And it sucks for the people, for the traditional people that are not invested into, the stock market or gold or silver or crypto assets. It sucks for them, but it's good for everybody in the space, right? Because that means that our investments are going to pay off. And it sucks that the other people might not be aware of what is going on with the whole entire economical market. But the biggest problem is inflation, right? And I'm not sure if you listen. I'm pretty sure you do listen to all the Fed meetings and all that. And inflation has just been going up, not just in the U.S. but worldwide. You're already seeing repos going on right now in the U.S. very heavily. That is one of the ways to go ahead and take a look at how the sentiment of the market is doing. Another indicator is retail spending. Are people spending more money in Gucci, Nordstrom, all this kind of stores? Maybe they're not drinking out as much, partying as much, and you have to start looking and seeing those indicators, what is going on. So the Fed knows that right now they haven't been printing so much money into the market that people are now getting hit by. So the only way to go ahead and let the market somewhat recover and see an uptrend is by letting it kind of take a hit. And people, as bad as it sounds, suffer a bit. And you're seeing it all across the world, right? You're seeing inflation, gas prices, food, cost of living, everything going up. And the thing that's also going up is investments. You know what I mean? Stocks have been going up, cryptocurrencies have been going up, a lot of investments have been going up. And I'm sure a lot of people have listened and know that term where they say the rich get richer, right? It's because they're invested into these markets. So I think what's going to be going on is that once we go ahead and start taking this dive into the U.S. markets especially, there is going to be a major hit, and I think there will be money being inflated into the system a little bit later down the line. But we need to go ahead and get hit first. And once this crash does start to happen, I think that's when Bitcoin and the overall crypto market is going to go ahead and take a massive pump to the upside, leading up to the 2024 to 2025, which is really important to consider because of the halving. And I think institutional money and big whales are getting ready to go ahead and jump into the markets at the right time. And the time is not just now yet. They're slowly trying to go ahead and pause the markets in order for them to go ahead and jump in, to go ahead and have more institutional money. So in my opinion, we need to go ahead and see the U.S. market take a bigger hit overall, leading to all the other currencies. Even if you look at the Forex market right now, you could go ahead and see that most of the currencies are taking a hit right now. And that's what we need. We need to go ahead and see that hit, but in order for that, we need the DXY to go ahead and crash. And I think we could go ahead and see it probably hitting down to, based on my analysis, down to like 80 to 89, leading into 2024, which is quite interesting based on what I just told you. The halving is going to be around the 2024 to 2025. And I think that we could probably see the DXY hit those areas around that year, 2024 to 2025. So I think we're bullish overall, long term. Short term, bearish, but this is a time where you want to go ahead and stack your bread, work another job if you need to, make extra cash, sell what you don't need, and obviously not financial advice, but start getting ready and just be prepared to go ahead and jump into these meme coins, these altcoins, because there is going to be a big opportunity coming up in the next year to year and a half.
Go ahead and stack your bread, work another job if you need to, make extra cash, sell what you don't need, and obviously not financial advice, but start getting ready and just be prepared to go ahead and jump into these meme coins, these altcoins, because there is going to be a big opportunity coming up in the next year to year and a half.
Yeah, I agree on all of those points. Very well worded. Except though, everything's going up. No, I mean, I believe it's the value of the dollar going down. And so just because it is the kingpin that we get to compare everything to it, we say that the price of everything's going up, whereas the value of the dollar is going down. So it buys less gas, it buys less food, it buys less copper, it buys less silver. And so, and all the fuckery of working these numbers through, it just makes it a really confusing situation. So, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing like binge and purge and binge and purge and the death throes of this thing living its final like pyramid Ponzi days of doing what it does. And so, it that's the only disagreement I have. It's not really a disagreement. I think it's wording because I lived a long time saying, oh, gas went up, bread went up, this went up. The value of what we're buying with went down. And, I like that monetary policy of, back when silver was, really, really there in the money and the money supply couldn't expand so freely. That's where the CBDCs come in. And we're also, worried about just expanding a money supply at will and just not really having any worries about it. But I agree with you 100%. We're waiting for that to happen. There's a whole lot of things going on just to ruin the narrative of, hey, crypto's going, Bitcoin's going, all this is going. And it's only here in the States, really. If you look at other countries in Central America, they've adopted it. That's like you could just go buy a car with Bitcoin. It's there, and so it's coming on with these talks, BRICS, and all this. It's really coming on, in my opinion. And so the last that's going to swivel, there's a lot of pressure built up, and it's going to be a blow off top here in the States. We're the least adopted in the world. Everybody else knows like this is the way to go. All the other countries, the citizens of those countries, you come here and we're, what, 1% own it. Look at silver, 1% own silver. We know what that's all about. Last time, every time a civilization dies, it's because their silver mine dried up, or they started diluting the silver with copper and some other crap. So, at the end of the line, you just have an infinite inflation money supply, and that's typically what happens. So we're definitely on track. We're definitely on the road for that. Is it in our lifetimes? I don't know. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. The previous speaker there. And, it really is about just getting familiar with it, doing what we've got to do now, and being comfortable enough to have coins that we can trust, that have a community that back them, and that we can say, hey, you know what? I don't lose sleep at night holding Ethereum or Bitcoin. So if we're going to hold PEPE2, there's no reason we should lose sleep at night. Like this is backed by some very big exchanges. It doesn't matter if it's the best of the best or the biggest of the biggest, right? That pumps it and everybody's worried about their bag being pumped. Is it stable? I think is the big question. I'm seeing it stabilize now. When's the next big pump? Is that the question on half of the people's minds? I don't know. Is it stable? I think is the question. And if it is stable, that means we can hold it and not have sleepless nights. Maybe we can transact it here in the near future.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think that I'd be really surprised if this doesn't become tradable again in terms of volatility, but we're at a spot where a lot of people are sitting on their hands, right? For all those reasons that we just discussed. Um, you know, the whole dollar thing is interesting too, because one of the other sides of that I feel is they printed so much fucking money over the last, what, 2 years that didn't just disappear, right? So that's where I have like some bullish tendencies when I look at this market, because if I was, if there was a fuck ton of money that just came off the printer and I needed to figure out a way to start rolling that around, I would have my eyes on the decentralized finance markets. You know, um, not to say it's necessarily happening, but it wouldn't surprise me if there's some leakage or some like rollover from the amount of money that they printed, because it was immense. It was immense. Um, so yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I think if we did see a big turn down in BTC, that we could find a lower floor than this. But I think one of the things that makes me extremely bullish on the floor of PEPE2 right now is the fact that with no volume, we aren't seeing the bottom completely fucking drop out. And I mean, when you have 12,000, individual wallets, even again, if everybody owned 3 wallets, there's 4,000 wallets. That's still 4,000 people that aren't running for the door. But and I'm trying to overestimate there. I don't think that's the case. It's probably closer to half or more. But it's interesting to me to see the volume go away so much more than it was, on the way up and on the way down. Yet, we're finding this floor here and starting to turn horizontal. So, question is how long, right? Go ahead, market maker.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean a lot of the bots have moved out. A lot of the people have moved, that swing trading stuff out of this project, and just on hold, right? It doesn't mean it's dead, but it means that there's just not enough volume to sustain that. So if you actually delete that activity, it's been this way for quite some time, because a lot of the bots will wash trade trying to get people out. And there's several different types of bots in which I've gone into a little bit. So there's some just to market make, that is automated market making. And so I want to sell at X amount, and the buyer is at X amount. We're 2 pennies off. And so the automated market making will automatically make that transaction. It'll drop it by 2 cents so that my sell is fulfilled, that buy is fulfilled. And it can continue on like there's actually trading. It's not just some stagnant crap. And so you see all these like weird little like 18-cent transactions where it costs like what, $5 or $8 in gas. That's what it is. It's automated market making. And so I mean, really, at the end of the day, what this comes down to as well is, if you look at the dollar and what it's doing, and it's hyperinflation, and so it's just really going to just spin out of control, and to the point that, I mean, look at Weimar Germany. That's actually my phone screensaver. The chart for Weimar Germany to gold. And if you look at how crazy that thing went, it actually is, it's parabolic. They're hiding it till the last second. They don't need people panicking, cheating out, and all this other shit. I mean, look at the US dollar as a shit coin. Since 1918, when they separated silver, they separated silver in 1964. Sorry. So 1918, the gold, they confiscated all that shit. If you just look at the history of the United States and what it's done with silver and gold, well, if this is the new silver and gold, the same thing's happening. And we just kind of need to step back and take a deep breath, look at what's happening, and it's just change the guard. And we didn't always have the Federal Reserve. Look at the old notes. We minted our own money. The Congress did, according to the Constitution, before the Federal Reserve came in, which isn't federal whatsoever. So when you see Federal Reserve note at the top of your bill, it was definitely produced after 1918. And so, everybody has to look into that, and they'll understand what this is really about.
Right, and when you say what this is really about, you're speaking about the the downplay on decentralized finance all the way to come to where we're at now, where you have, the head of BlackRock coming out and calling, Bitcoin digital gold, and that, paints that picture. So,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, BlackRock. I mean, the biggest. I worked for KKR, so I think they're the third largest. So when you're talking $14 trillion in assets, they own everything. Really, like they can do whatever they want. They can make Bud Light go ESG or whatever they want. And so at the end of the day, when you look at that kind of power concentrated, it really is monopoly. And we say, oh, the government's going to keep monopoly from happening, but so I mean, you look at a lot of the latest things that are coming out, and it truly shows that the person with the biggest checkbook gets to run whatever department they want. And so, within this organization, I think somebody previously called it. No, I think that was another space. They called it a mafia. But
I mean, it
yeah,
kind of is by
who
definition, right?
he who has the gold makes the rules. I mean, if I've got more money than the other guy, I mean, I guess I get voted in because I control the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then so I got my city, and then eventually I can get big enough to take the state, and then eventually I can make enough deals with the other states I can take the feds. So, yeah, I guess it just really is a power struggle all the way to the top. And then, I won't go into it any further, but yeah, at the end of the day, it just is what it is. And we're watching the game play out and being in control of our own money. I mean, that's what I've always transacted in is silver. I got paid, I turned it into silver. Silver never went anywhere, but you know what? I can come and go from it, same as I can come and go from, some crypto now. And it's that kind of blessing that I can move in and out of it. And there are some opportunities in both. Some's the longer play than others. I don't know anybody that's going to hold a crypto coin for 10 years. Some have, though. XRP is showing some of these diamond. There's some deep diamond hands out there that have held this XRP through thick and thin. And so, where are these crypto coins? Besides Bitcoin, besides Ethereum, like which are these? Do people really understand that you're burning ETH? You're actually literally burning it up to provide value to the tokens that you're holding. And the contracts that aren't renounced and the LPs that aren't burned, it's a different story. But the good ones, we need to be able to recognize the good from the bad. And so I hear PEPE2 is actually going to renounce. They're going to change some taxes. They're going to renounce here shortly. I think a lot of people are actually waiting for that as well.
Did you say change some taxes?
Yeah, they're not renounced, right? Maybe I'm incorrect on this.
I'm not sure. I know they changed in the very beginning some, but they've been stuck at 1 and 1 now for quite a while. Definitely throughout the peak. I know in the very beginning, like at launch, they did move up one when I think the sell went up to 12% right at the very beginning at launch. Very briefly, and then they walked it down to 1, and I think it stayed at 1 since then. But I'm not sure if that function's been renounced or not. I'm not really great at looking at those things.
I'll have to check. Yeah, I mean, I think some functions can still be changed even after they renounce. I have to dig deeper into it. I haven't looked at it in some time, but I remember somebody asking a question about, hey, are they going to launch, like 3.0 or, like another version of this to do something with the taxes? But we don't have to worry about that since it's not renounced yet. They can change the tax and then renounce. And so that would be a question for the dev, but that's my belief.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think the dev's been mostly active on Telegram. I know they had a space earlier today, but I was actually in a different space and I lost track of time and I did not make it over there to hear him on Twitter. Were you there for that? Or John?
No, Yeah, no, I don't know. I think I got banned in Telegram trying to get you reinstated, actually.
It's goofy. The whole place is goofy. Everyone's paranoid. It's a funny space to trade in.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. It's my first time I've ever been present for a meme coin season, altcoin season, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's a funny space. I mean, I'd like to see more NFTs community out of it. Like that was kind of my intro that got me into DeFi trading, and I've seen some good things come out of NFT communities, and you don't see quite the same thing here, but I think it's because it's a much higher paced game. Things are moving much quicker. I think it's also why people are quick to discredit something as well. When they see something, they're like, "Oh, it's over. This is done with."
Yeah, I mean, well, the NFT space, I co-launched a NFT back in February and did 1,000x in a couple months. So I'm really looking for that next 1,000x, and I don't know if this is going to be it or not, right? I'm not the dev. I'm not in control of what that narrative looks like. And so that's, I think, where a lot of people are on the fence, is kind of waiting to see what sort of support is going to happen. And, there's always kind of that silence, that lull after a big pump like that's happened. And so kind of wait for things to calm down, find the floor, and see what kind of support comes in, and then everybody can pile on that support. But right now, I think people are struggling to really see anybody that they can ride, I guess, to the next top. And so it's just going to kind of simmer down and get quiet, and anybody that wants to leave leaves, and then they're going to get left behind on that first big pump, because you know as well as anybody, like that first one's going to move probably delete a zero.
At this
So then
point,
everybody's
I
going to
wouldn't
realize
be surprised at this point if when the event does start to take place, if we get a good, really hard run out of the beginning of it, and that comes back to the short capitulation that ALTCOIN John was talking about. And is there a way that you can track the short positions on these things? I mean, I imagine if it's on the Ether or on the blockchain, there should be some way to do it. Or I guess if it's internal to the CEX, it's actually not on the blockchain, is it?
Well, I mean, I shorted it. I sold 20 ETH, and I'm waiting to buy back in. Isn't that a short position?
Yeah.
So I don't know that there's a way to see, that, like the stock market, you
liquidated from then.
take out a position, whereas I just sell and watch and wait to buy back in.
It was you.
Come back down, which is essentially shorting.
Dude, I had the leverage long as soon as we went on MEXC. So I was holding two positions, right? The one on MetaMask, which is kind of like more of like an investment swing, if you want to call it that way, because I don't use any bots on MetaMask, and that's actually what I've been looking into, because buying in and buying out, you do get wrecked. And I'm sure Market Maker probably is doing it the right way. But I was on MEXC, man, and I actually rode the wave when it had that massive pump. That's what I was saying. It went up to like 0.30 something. I was up like probably like 12 grand on that, literally like that day on that alone on just MEXC. And then obviously it was a head and shoulders pattern, and I was like, you know what, nah, dude, I don't think it's gonna happen, because with memes, dude, one thing I've noticed is that you can have the damn pattern in front of your face, but momentum and community is willing to go ahead and push. It completely ignores everything out of the way, and it just continues to pump. So it's kind of like a hit or miss, right? So I was like, you know what, dude, like I just made some money. Let me go ahead and jump into the position again. And that's when I messed up, bro. Trading on emotion, like because I was like, you know what, like I made 12 G's today. Let me go ahead and try to break another 30. And I was trading on emotion, and I saw the head and shoulders pattern. I completely ignored it. I was like, I think momentum's gonna push it. People are gonna FOMO, jump in, and then I went, I did another leverage again, and I just kept averaging, bro, and then I just got freaking liquidated, dude. Honestly, like I lost all of that literally just that day alone, but I felt actually more comfortable, like what you mentioned, knowing that I'm not gonna get wrecked anymore, because I already got wrecked, right? And even though I lost about that 12 grand on that, because I was still going long, and I got
just got
liquidated by
freaking
market maker.
liquidated, dude. Honestly,
I'm so
like,
bullish on this project,
I
bro, and
love
I'm
all of
looking
that.
at
Literally
the
just
long
that day
term,
alone, but I felt
on the
actually
long
more
term kind of things,
comfortable,
right?
what you
I
mentioned,
think I've been following you
knowing that
since
I'm not gonna get wrecked
Bitcoin
anymore
Sonic
because I already
Obama
got
Emu,
wrecked,
bro. I think that's why I
right?
came
Even
across
though I
your Twitter
lost
page,
about that
High
12 grand
Function.
on
I'm not
that,
sure. I think
because I was still
you
going
were in
long,
like one of the
and I got
spaces, right?
liquidated by market maker. I'm so bullish on this project, bro, and I'm looking at the long term, on the long term kind of things, right? I think I've been following you since Bitcoin
Yeah,
Sonic Obama Inu, bro. I think that's why I came across your Twitter page, High Function. I'm not sure. I think you
yeah.
were in like one of the spaces, right?
Yeah, bro. Actually, I swung traded that ticker a lot, and then before it took off and ran, like I knew it was going to, but I stayed exposed to PEPE2 because I was really just seeing,
Yeah.
the holder count and everything. But dude, those guys are relentless, and I literally, when I come across their
Yeah.
shit, I laugh. And like those types of sentiment are things to me, at least, like being new to this space.
Yeah,
that say,
100%.
like, dude, if you have a relentless community that can be consistently funny, most of the time, I feel like 8 out of 10 of their posts are laughable. You got something going there. You know what I mean? They're dedicated as shit, and it is absolutely ridiculous, some of the stuff that they put out. It just, most people can't even say the fucking ticker name
100%.
without smiling. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't know. Easy.
100%.
You're familiar with who Easy like Sunday is, but he was like trying to spit the name of the ticker out earlier, and even
Really?
I
thought MEXC they don't have them listed as Bitcoin.
The fact that they put their name as Bitcoin afterwards on the ticker is even more hilarious.
Interesting.
The fact that the exchanges,
Yeah.
the fact that the exchanges won't list it as fucking Bitcoin, and they named it Harry, and they're
Bro, but honestly, that kind of tells you a lot there too. I came
MEXC,
across from
they don't have them listed
Bitcoin,
as
the
Bitcoin?
Harry Potter. They just say Harry.
because it's like
Because I was looking at it too, and I knew it was gonna pump, bro. But I just never knew it was gonna
Yeah.
like make a massive pump like that. And I use Dex tools to go ahead and track this,
Bro,
right?
but-
And then
but
I think I
honestly,
cleared
that
like
kinda tells
my
you a lot
cookies
there,
and all
too.
that on my
See,
captcha,
I
and it got
came
deleted,
across,
so I completely
from
forgot about it.
Bitcoin,
But it was like literally
the
like
Harry
probably one of
Potter,
the like
say Harry,
first like five, three
because
like
I was looking at it
third
too, and I knew it was
video
gonna
that I
pump,
probably
bro,
made
but
on my
I just never
channel,
knew it was gonna,
and I
like,
talked about
make a
that
massive pump
token.
like that.
And the reason why I'm talking
I
about it
use
now is
Dex
because
tools
that's
to
why I
go ahead
came
and track
across
this, right?
you
And then I think I cleared like
in the
my
Twitter
cookies
space, and I
all that,
followed
my
you, and I've been
captcha,
following
and
you
got
ever
deleted,
since.
so I completely
And
forgot
one
about
thing
it.
that if you
But it
go
was
ahead
like
and look
literally
at,
like probably
it's like,
one
yeah,
of
it
the
has a
like
funny name.
first
If you
like
look at it, it's kind of like it kind of has like a weird edgy kind of feel to it, but it tells you how strong the community is. They were literally, last time I checked them, they're right now, dude, look, 51 million market cap. Like, I'm not here to compare, like, oh, we're not here comparing memes or anything, but if a project with such a funny name and even the ticker symbol Bitcoin, and it still was able to get listed on these big exchanges, maybe not with the name Harry, but it just kind of tells you how supportive a lot of these exchanges are for the meme communities. And most importantly, it's all about the community. It's all about, everybody who's in this space to go ahead and unite together on the project. Yeah, you could go ahead and swing trade it, you could do a lot, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to the community, if they're willing to go ahead and push it. Harry has a very strong community, bro. Like, I'm sure you know, like, they have a very strong community. Everybody seems very chill, and it tells you because their market cap alone is at 51 million with only 7.5 holders. I'm sure they probably have a lower supply, but the fact that looking at the daily, I think this project, if you bought in from the beginning, I think it did an over 30x, but it took.
I'm sure you know, like, they have a very strong community. Everybody seems very chill, and it tells you because their market cap alone is at 51 million with only 7.5 holders. I'm sure they probably have a lower supply.
Damn.
But the fact that looking at the daily, I think this project, if you bought in from the beginning, I think it did an over 30x.
Collection,
but it took
T collection also has taken off because of
really.
Yeah, I mean, if you, I faded it at like the fucking 0.17 and 0.2 line, and I think it's at a 0.754 right now, and it's actually liquid. You know what I mean? It's an interesting situation, but that like wraps us back around to like a strong community, holder count, fours. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the way their chart went, it wasn't all fucking rainbows and butterflies there for a second. You know what I mean? But those guys did not fucking give up. They did not give up. They literally are out there every fucking day. And I see that, in the Pepe community as well, this PEPE2 community. I see memes all day long. And I mean, I know the algorithm is going to be catered towards me for the type of shit that I post and the tags that I use. But there's absolutely a presence out there, and that presence and that sentiment is what forms that floor. And then eventually you get, notice that, hey, this floor is solid, and that's where the big money comes from, in my opinion. Go ahead, market makers.
Yeah, I've heard that there's a dev that figured out something to make these things pump forever, just on natural like taxation or whatever the hell it is they do. But at the same time, onto the next movement is, who are these devs, right? I mean, they're all doxxed. How do we know who's who? So we trust the influencers to do this for us. We trust the people, we trust Taco. I trust him. I trust Chris. We trust these people because they're in direct contact, and we trust them to really do this diligence, the DD for us. And so, at the end of the day, are we on to something that's a perpetual fucking pump? I mean, they say perpetual motion is impossible, but has it been figured out? And are these the tickers that are going to do it? So I see a lot of testing in some of these things, and then also I just want to leave off on a question. I've heard that Pepe 2 has been acquired by a new dev. Is that something you're aware
Dude,
of?
somebody mentioned that to me, but honestly, I've heard so much random shit fly around, and so much like I try not to like pay attention to anything that isn't like announced directly from them. But that's not the very first time that I've heard that, and I don't really know what the implications of that are. Someone slid in my DMs actually trying to tell me that, and they sent me a voice message, and then like the conversation got a little weird. I ended up fucking posting the guy because he started getting like super fuddy about it. The voice recording that I listened to, he was trying to tell me it was the same dev as the NGMI thing, um, the not gonna make it coin, I guess. But so he played me a 11-second recording of a voice in the NGMI space, and he's like, they just deleted this because they didn't want people to hear it. But I mean, I've heard the dev talk from Pepe 2.0, and I mean, I like to think that I would know the fucking difference between the two. It did not sound the speech pattern and the tone of the voice.
Well, I mean, I quit a job at KKR. I was making over 200K a year. And they're what, like fifth largest, um, behind BlackRock. So there's BlackRock and number five is KKR. And I was acquisitions. So, literally, like these coins are not just, the same dev writing it out. Um, when it happens, what happens is that the OGs, they don't get 50% of their payment until they write it out till X amount of time in the contract. So you're gonna hear from the same dev for a certain amount of time to make sure that
Yeah, you're right, Pablo. Sorry about that. I agree. If it does dump, I do think that it is going to pump a lot higher. Whales are going to pick up very quick, and Pepe 2.0 contract is renounced. Let me go ahead and mention that as well.
like what is that, Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, that was a KKR acquisition. So I mean, I don't mean to let everybody speculate on some of the deals that I've been in, but that's just kind of what happens in this space is they can prove a successful token and somebody can run it to the next level. So in startups, you have teams that can only take it so far. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like a team is only built so big, they can only take it so far. There's a bigger team that can come in that has experience taking it. I have experience taking a company from 20 million to 500 million, and I'm done, right? After 500 million, I'm out, right? No harm to me, no foul to anything, but I just don't have experience managing anything more than $500 million company. But I can take a startup to $500 million.
That's an interesting concept. I never really thought about like launching something, getting
Hey,
it off the
no,
ground,
yeah,
and then once
definitely.
you've
I
done
actually
like a
like that
community
perspective
or
you're
floor
mentioning. I
handing that
also want
over,
to go ahead
just because of
and
the
kind of
risk
touch bases
involved
on
with the
these news
handoff
that I
and the
think a
amount of
lot of
money.
people miss, especially
But I mean, I
that you
guess
have
everybody
this
has
kind
their
of
own risk
experience,
profile. So
you
kind
know,
of the
launching
perspective I can take
companies.
away from that.
And I have
Go ahead,
noticed, and you're
John.
right, you know, sometimes what a lot of these companies do, they might
Hey,
have a great
no,
vision,
yeah,
but they might not
definitely. I
have the
actually like
right
the perspective you're
face for
mentioning.
the
I also
company,
want to
right, to
go
go ahead
ahead
and push the
and
projects.
kind of touch
And
bases
especially with
on
the
these
space,
news
I
that
kind
I
of
think a lot of
realized too that a
people
lot of these
miss,
projects
especially
could be
that you
multiple
have this kind of
developers running
experience, launching
multiple
companies.
projects. You know, I'm
And
looking at one
I
very
have
closely right
noticed, and you're
now
right, you know,
that I
this is
don't want to
what a
go
lot of these
ahead
companies
and
do. They
push. I'll
might have a
definitely go ahead
great
and
vision,
DM you
but they
guys
might
just
not
due to
have
the
the
fact
right
that you know,
face
we
for
have a
the
lot of
company,
Pepe
right, to
2.0
go ahead
holders
and
here,
push the
and you know,
projects.
obviously the goal is not
And
to go ahead
especially
and
with the
spread
space, I
FUD
kind of realized
or to
too
go
that a
ahead
lot
and
of these
push anybody
projects
to another
could
project. But
be
I
multiple
found something
developers
very
running
interesting that I
multiple
do want to go ahead and share
multiple
with you
projects.
guys.
You know, I'm looking at
But I
one
also
very
want to go
closely
ahead and
right
mention,
now
because on my live stream right
that
now
I
on
don't want to
YouTube,
go ahead
people are
and
asking
push.
me
I'll definitely
about
go ahead and
the
DM you guys
contract
due to the
renounce and
fact
all that. And
that
I did want to
you know,
mention,
we have a lot of
based on
Pepe
what I've
2.0
seen
holders
on
here,
Dex tools,
and
I
you know,
haven't read
obviously the goal is
the
not to
smart
go ahead and
contract
spread
myself
FUD
directly.
or to go ahead
I
and push
haven't actually
anybody to
looked deep
another
into it.
project.
I
But
just
I found something
just
very
going based
very interesting that I
on
do
Dex
want to go
tools, it
ahead
does say
and
the
share with you
contract was
guys.
renounced,
But I also
and
want to
it
go
is
ahead
at a
and
buy
mention, because
sell
on my live
one
stream right
and
now on
one.
YouTube, people are
I
asking
do
me
think they could
about the
modify
contract renounce and
some
all
of
that. I
these
did want to
items. Like I
mention,
said, I'm just
based
looking
on what
based
I've
on
seen
the
on
on
Dex
what
tools, I
Dex tools
haven't read
has.
the smart
I haven't
contract
looked
myself
into the
directly.
actual smart
I
contract
haven't actually
itself
looked deep
to
into it.
go
I just
ahead
just going
make
based
sure, but it
on
does seem
Dex
like there's a
tools. It does say
greater
the
percent of
contract was renounced.
0.2%.
And it is at a buy
So
sell one and one.
that can mean
I do think
something,
it
right? I
could
haven't looked into the
modify
contract, but just wanted to go
some
ahead
of
and
these
mention that,
items. Like
just
I
to go
said, I'm
ahead
just looking
if there's
based
any
on
confusion
on
out
what
there.
Dex
And
tools
as
has.
well,
I haven't
market
looked
maker,
into the
I'm
actual
not sure if
smart
you're
contract
aware
itself
with
to go
they
ahead
just did like a
and make
partnership with
sure,
L
but it
Bank,
does
right?
seem like there's a
If you go to L
greater
Bank,
percent of
it's called L Bank
0.2%.
Labs, and it looks
So
like they're sort of like a
that can mean
VC
something, right?
funded
I haven't looked into
side
the
of L
contract, but just
Bank,
want to
where
go
they
ahead
go
and
ahead and
mention
help
that
their
just to go ahead.
developers
If there's
get
any
connected
confusion
to
out
more
there, and as well,
partnerships, or go ahead and
market
help them
maker,
with
I'm not
funding.
sure if you're
And I
aware
think, in
with
my opinion, a
they just
lot
did
of
like
people might
a
have missed
partnership with
that
L Bank,
on the
right? If you
recent
go to L
announcement that
Bank,
the dev
it's
made.
called L
It
Bank
looked like a lot of
Labs,
people
and it
didn't
looks like they're
really like
sort of like a
reacted to it very well.
VC
But based on
funded
what I
side
did,
of
it's
L
called L
Bank, where they
Bank
go ahead and help
Labs, I
the
believe. If you
developers
look at their
get connected
website,
to more
they're
partnerships, or
pretty
go
much
ahead and
based on
help them with
what I
funding.
read.
And
It
I think,
says
in my opinion, a
pioneering
lot of
100
people
million
might have missed
AUM
that
fund
on the
empowering
recent
blockchain and
announcement that the
Web3
dev made.
innovation since
It looked like a lot of
2022.
people
So
didn't
when I
really like
looked into it, I
reacted
saw
to it
like the
very
kind of
well.
companies they were
But
invested
based on
in,
what I did,
and like
it's
what
called
they have
L
going on. They
Bank
have like a boot
Labs, I
camp and all
believe.
that. So
If you look
based
at their
on what I
website,
understood from this,
they're pretty
I
much
think
based
it's
on
kind of
what I
kind of
read.
like a
It
VC where they
says
go ahead and help the
pioneering
developers
100
with any
million
partnerships or
AUM fund
funding.
empowering
So I'm
blockchain and
assuming
Web3
that
innovation since
if let's say for
2022.
example
So
Pepe
when I
2.0
looked
runs out of
into it, I saw
money,
like the kind of
based
companies
on
they
what
were
I
invested in
understand, L Bank
and
is
like what they
willing
have
to
going
go
on.
ahead
They
and
have like
put
a
up
boot
some
camp and all
money
that. So
to
based on
go
what I
ahead
understood
and
from
further
this,
up those partnerships
I
or
think it's
whatever the project has to
kind of
do,
like a
right?
VC where they
I
go
would
ahead and
definitely
help the
want you to go ahead and
developers
look
with
into
any
that right now if
partnerships
you have
or
a chance. If
funding.
not,
So I'm
definitely would
assuming
like to
that
go ahead and hear your opinion
if
on
let's
that.
say
But
for
I think
example
that's
Pepe
very
2.0 runs
interesting
out of
and really
money,
important news
based
that
on what
not a
I
lot of people
understand, L Bank
have
is
talked
willing
about
to
it
go ahead
yet,
and put
from
up
what
some
I've
money
noticed.
to go ahead and further up those partnerships or whatever the project has to do, right? I would definitely want you to go ahead and look into that right now if you have a chance. If not, definitely would like to go ahead and hear your opinion on that. But I think that's very interesting and really important news that not a lot of people have talked about it yet, from what I've noticed.
Yeah, and I misspoke actually when I said the contract was renounced. So it is renounced. However, there are some things that can continue. They can continue to contains external actions and contains suspicious actions. And suspicious isn't bad. It just means that they can still change the tax. They can still make modifications to it, and which is good because because we need adjustments. Not every contract is perfect, and so as it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, we see like there's exponential growth, like the thing's exploding, and it shouldn't be, which is not healthy. I mean, it's healthy for people that are holding, but it's not healthy for the long-term goals of the contract. And so, if you go to like quick intel, so there's a modified transfer with no checks, hidden mint. There's potential hidden owner. There's contains suspicious actions. There's contains external actions after being renounced. And so this doesn't necessarily mean something is bad. It just necessarily means that hey, there are things that can happen to our benefit after the contract has been renounced. So I did misspeak there. But yeah, I absolutely love the points that you've made, that there are a whole lot of people working on this thing, and it's not just a small dev team. There's a whole lot of people, and obviously with the different listings that they've had, the listings they want to have, and all this going on. But they got to get rid of the 2 red flags and probably the 2 cautions before this moves forward. So I don't see like a Binance listing. We see these tweets about a Binance listing. I don't see that until they clear those few items up. Not that they can't, not that they won't, but right now I see a pause.
How do you know what has to go on as far as like what the exchanges have to go through in order to
What
like
these
verify
exchanges
or get
usually
a
look
listing
for, they
on
look
as far as
for,
like
obviously they're going to
doxing
have to
on the
dox,
dev
right, to a
side?
certain
Like,
extent.
is there a
They
deeper? I
usually
would have to
ask
imagine
for
there's a deeper process
market
that
making
takes place
funds, so
for
they need
some
to
of
go
these
ahead and
exchanges.
have a certain amount
Probably
of like
more so
liquidity,
with certain
depending on the
ones than
exchanges.
others.
Different exchanges
John,
do it
looks like you put
differently,
your hand up.
but they
Go ahead.
ask for it runs anywhere
Yeah,
between, I would
so what
say,
these exchanges
100
usually
to
look for, they look
200,000
for,
per
obviously they're
exchange,
going to have to dox, right,
maybe
to a
even
certain
around 50
extent.
to
They
100,000, and
usually
that is
ask
really
for
the
market
pretty
making
much
funds, so they need to go ahead and
the
have a certain
developer
amount
putting
of
up
like liquidity.
tokens in
Depending on
order
the
for them not
exchanges,
to be
different
able to do
exchanges
like
do
a
it
liquidity
differently,
pool and all
but
that.
they
And for
ask
a lot of these
for
exchanges, they
it
have to go
runs anywhere between, I
really,
would
really
say,
deep dive into a
100
lot of
to
external
200,000
and
per
internally
exchange,
of the smart
maybe
contract.
even
So
around 50 to
I definitely
100,000,
agree with
and
the
that
red
is really
flags, but
the pretty
also
much
if they
the
were very,
developer
very
putting up
major red
tokens
flags,
in
I'm sure a
order for
lot of
them
these
not to be
exchanges
able to
wouldn't be
do like a
listing.
liquidity pool and all
And I
that.
would
And
say
for a lot of these
specifically
exchanges, they
Bybit.
have
I
to go
think Bybit's a pretty
really,
huge
really
one.
deep dive into
A
a lot of
lot of
external
people leverage
and
trade there.
internally
So
smart
Bybit
contracts.
obviously is going
So
to do like a lot
I
of
definitely agree with the red
like the
flags,
developer mentioned a
but
lot of times,
also
for a lot of
if
these
they
exchanges,
were
they're not
very, very
only
major red flags,
putting their
I'm sure
customers
a
at
lot of
risk,
these
but they're also
exchanges
putting
wouldn't
their
be
branding. So they
listing.
need to go
And I
ahead
would
and
say
do like a
specifically
very, very,
Bybit. I
very
think Bybit's a
important
pretty huge
external
one.
research on that. But even
A
then, it
lot
doesn't
of
mean it
people
can't
leverage
happen.
trade there. So
But I would
Bybit
definitely want you
obviously is
guys to
going
go
to do
ahead and
like a
check
lot
out
of
the L Bank
like
Labs.
the
I'm
developer
going to try to
mentioned a lot
send
of
that
times.
tweet directly to
For a
you
lot
guys
of these
or
exchanges, they're
tag
not
you in it,
only
because I definitely
putting
would
their
like to go ahead
customers
and
at
see
risk, but
market
they're also putting
makers.
their branding. So we need to go ahead and do like a
How do I do
very,
that?
very, very
Let's
important
see.
external research on that. But even then, it doesn't mean it can't happen. But I would definitely want you guys to go ahead and check out the L Bank Labs. I'm going to try to send that tweet
Okay, let me go
directly
ahead and
to you guys.
let me go. Yeah, let me go
tag
ahead and
you
try
in
to
it,
do that.
because I definitely would like to go ahead and see
Yeah,
market
that's pretty much
makers.
what I know about
Top
exchanges.
board if you want, Marvin.
How do I do that?
When you go to share the tweet
Let's
that
see.
you already have, if you have one, you'll see it when you hit the share button. It's in the share bar all the way at the top. You'll see the name of the room. Might as well if we're talking about it.
Okay, let me go ahead and let me go ahead and try to do that. Yeah, that's pretty much what I know about exchanges.
You know, that's super interesting. And I was thinking the same thing, because like if they're going to go ahead and take on a large part of the supply and they're going to hold like 14% of something, 12% of something, 10, even 5% of something, I think there would be some sort of like checks and balances that they're going through on their side to make sure that, hey, they're not just going to rip the LP out from underneath of us. Because I mean, that's an L. You know what I mean? That's an L for them. They have to reimburse their customers probably to some degree if something like that happens. Will they or not is a different question, but you know, ethically, you would think they would, or else they would be losing customers. So yeah, that's one of the things that has kept me, you know, despite all the FUD and the random like bullshit that you hear about, you know, whatever may be happening, delistings. Like again, yesterday I was told KuCoin was delisting it by like I don't even know how many people. Which obviously you go to KuCoin.com and you take a look at the charts and you see them spinning. So go ahead, market maker.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, like a lot of contracts have different things in them, and that's part of the game, right? So the last several tokens I've made and have made some interesting things in the contract doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad, but it is different. And so, do we want different right now? I mean, yes. So should they assess these contracts differently and stop throwing up warnings and cautions about a contract that has some really good things built into it to people that understand the smart contracts. It might not to people that don't. It might not to the bots that assess these things, right? And so these are low level, free kind of assessments. And so when you get these higher, you pay for a service and it's doing a deeper dive into it and it has a lot more knowledge as to what's going on, they could explain a lot of these things away, as the dev does. The dev's like, oh yeah, we plan to reduce the tax, so obviously we can't do that in a renounced contract, and without some back end sort of ability to interact with it. So Dex tools and these different things will throw up red flags, whereas the dev team absolutely has good intentions as to change the tax to zero. I mean, it's not a rug, right? It would have gone by now. So it definitely is the dev having the right intentions of being able to manipulate that tax, and we would all hope it all goes to zero. I'm glad to see the tax. How do they get paid? If I see zero tax, I'm worried, because how do they get paid, right? There's some wallet hiding around the corner that has 100 billion tokens ready to dump on us so that they can fund this thing. So I've done my diligence and I've looked into it. I'm happy. I'm excited about this, and I'm ready for this to take off. And I'm also a realist as well. It could
Hey,
be a minute
did you guys
for
get that
everything to
that
settle
post that I tagged you
down,
in?
and
I wasn't
possibly a
able
new
to like
team
share
to
it.
settle in. I don't know that
Oh,
for
okay.
sure.
Let's see.
Hate to suggest it, but possibly a new
Hey,
team to
market
settle
maker,
in
go ahead and take a look,
and
man.
see what's
Since
next.
you're like really deep into that, into the VC side of things, so go ahead and take a look at that and just kind of let us know what you think. But
Hey, did you guys get that post that I tagged you in?
Yeah, I put it
I
up
wasn't
on the
able to
board.
like
I put
share
it
it.
up on the board already in
Oh,
here. Yeah,
okay.
when it
Let's
saved
see.
it. And so
Hey, market maker, go ahead and take a look, man. Since you're like really deep into that, into the VC side of things, so go ahead and take a look at that and just kind of let us know what you think. But
And I think like this is potentially them bridging partnerships, like he's talking about. Like if there was going to be an exchange of hands at some point, like if you're talking about like an acquisition of a coin or token, I think that maybe L Bank is somebody who could facilitate that relationship, because maybe the dev team doesn't know somebody that wants to take that risk or that size. That's what I would take away from that. It's kind of like a scouting team that would do it on Wall Street for acquisitions. So maybe like they have like a support network already built. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass right now because that just sounds what it looks like, when I read the
No, I
advertisement.
agree with you. I've briefly just kind of sped read it, and it's absolutely what it is somebody taking it to the next level. And so there's they've renounced the contract, the original dev team, and they've also renounced some ownership in the next aspects of it, so that this new team can move it forward and market it without being constricted by ownerships. And so, yeah, absolutely. This is, I think you've nailed it. This is pretty much what I've heard and haven't been able to really point towards.
Damn, well, I mean, I think that's overall bullish for the life of the project, especially as you hold a floor here. You know, I wonder how long that process would take, or if there's already somebody maybe in line that says, "Hey, we're looking for things like this." So hopefully, I'd love to see some bullish news come out of the dev. So a little more activity on their side on Twitter Spaces, or you know. But again, we didn't need bullish news to have that first run. The goddamn account was suspended, and most people weren't going to the Telegram, right? So, I think there's a big community here. I think there's a strong floor. I think, save for, you know, our uh, our other indicators of a larger fucked up macro situation isn't taking place, then we're probably pretty damn close to where this thing keeps rounding bottom. Um, again, I like to go back and look at like a 1 hour chart, and if I were to like take a picture of a 1 hour chart and then rotate that picture till it's upside down, and then I look at the way it's curving over, right? And it can kind of tell you like where an entrance might be, because a lot of times if you'd see that when it's upside down, like the reverse image of it, you'd be like, this thing's rolling over and I need to take profits. So, you know, it sometimes helps your brain see things like that. And it's a fairly parabolic sweep coming down. I mean, save for that little blast, you know, to the low side that we took. So I'm bullish to see this thing potentially consolidate and turn sideways for a minute and break these other, you know, downtrending resistances that I have drawn on my chart. We have not blasted through the resistance that I have as a red dotted line, and it's punched it a good handful of times. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 before we made like that big nasty drop, and then probably another 1, 2, 3 times since then. So to me, that says like when we break that resistance line, that we get a nice move off the backside of that, and we're kind of running out of time, time and space of the chart, I guess you would say, before we hit that point. So that's definitely an inflection point I'm looking at, and I'm going to call that date right now is what I see is like the 23rd of July at like noon. I'd like to see something take place in that window. Go ahead.
Yeah, so every time you load a contract, there's so what the contract does, so say you load up Uniswap, it sells it to market. So you've got all this LP and you give Uniswap, you know, 1 billion tokens. It sells it, but it retains the tokens so it can sell to everybody else. And so at the end of the day, a lot of these dips you see are the contract getting loaded. And that's where I feel a lot of the sells, the big dives and the big, you know, drops and dips at this point are these tokens getting sold to contract. And so it's not like there's an individual buyer. We have to stop imagining like these whales and everybody running for their lives out of these things. It's the contract getting loaded because, you know, I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this, but so when you get your MEXC, they buy the token. You're not paying ETH gas fees. So not everybody on this call is necessarily trading the way us degens are, whereas I'll pay, you know, $10 in gas to move a certain amount of tokens. You know, MEXC, they'll buy their tokens and you can swap them in and out without gas fees. They own them. They have them. They don't have to do the Ethereum contract. That's the centralized exchange part of it. And so it really is, everybody has to kind of realize what is happening when we see these huge dips is a good thing in the sense that these contracts are selling the tokens that have been airdropped to them so they can sell them to everybody else. And so just because there was no pump to really cancel it out, I mean, that just means that these exchanges have been loaded beyond what the demand was from the actual ETH side of the platform. So they're still gaining momentum. They're pumping it. They're bumping it. They're moving it. And, you know, those tokens aren't reflected in our charts. They're really not. I mean, when we watch our chart bump around on DEX tools, it doesn't show what's happening on these centralized exchanges or these exchanges that own their tokens. We're not seeing that reflection here, right? And so, you know, we're watching DEX tools bounce around. We're seeing these big dips, and then we'll go to, you know, say MEXC, or we'll go to, you know, some other exchange and not see the same thing. It's because they're dealing with their own pool. I mean, I could go right now and make my own pool. I could add $100,000 to the liquidity pool and make my own exchange based on this token that everybody might prefer to trade because it's performing better because it has a better LP.
Yeah, market maker, you hit the spot right there, bro. Because like, if a lot of people, like, I suggest everybody to go ahead, if you have the chance, go ahead and head over to the smart contract, and you still see, you know, MEXC being one of the top holder with, you know, 2
usually
million
more important to
worth of
me.
value right now at the moment. Second being KuCoin, then Gate.io, and then you
Yeah,
have
market
the other
maker, you hit the
exchanges,
spot
right?
right
So
there, bro. Because like,
you know,
if
pretty
a
much
lot
what
of
market
people, like
maker
I
said,
suggest everybody,
you know,
to
they
go
have
ahead
their
and you have
own,
a
they're pretty
chance,
much
go
being
ahead
their
and
own
head over to the
LP,
smart
and the way
contract.
these
You
exchanges
still
make their
see,
money
MEXC
is
being one of the top
by
holders
whatever
with,
fees they charge,
2
right?
million
So we're
worth of
definitely
value
going to
right
go
now at
ahead
the
and see
moment.
different
Second being
reflections,
KuCoin,
different
then
wicks. The
Gate.io,
chart's going to be a
and then
little
you
bit
have
different,
the
like I
other
mentioned.
exchanges, right?
On
So,
Dex Tools, it doesn't
you know,
show
pretty much
its
what market
all-time
maker
high
said,
on
they have their own, they're
on
pretty
what
much
is it
being their
on
own LP, and the way
PEPE2.0, but
these
if you go to
exchanges make their
MEXC, it
money
literally hit
is
like
by
0.3 if I'm not
whatever fees they
mistaken,
charge,
around
right?
that
So
was an
we're
all-time high
definitely
there,
going to
and that
go
was
ahead
because
and
of
see different
liquidity of
reflections,
shorts
different
getting
wicks. The
liquidated,
chart's
right?
going to be a little bit different, like I
So
mentioned
yeah,
on Dex
that's
Tools.
what
It
definitely
doesn't
what it
show
reflects is, and
its
it's going to be a
all-time
little bit
high
different, but I agree with you
on
100% on that,
on
man.
what is it on Pepe 2.0. But if you go to MEXC, it literally hit like 0.3 if I'm not mistaken, around that that was an all-time high there, and that was because of liquidity of shorts getting liquidated, right? So yeah, that's what definitely what it reflects, and it's going to be a little bit different. But I agree with you 100% on that, man.
Nice. We'll check it. We've been running the room now for fucking, looks like a little over an hour. I need to eat some food. I'm getting a little bit sleepy, but we should keep coming back. I enjoy this conversation, John. I hope that you keep coming back, and we can get more people tapping in that are on the same level of combo, because it's sick. It's good to get together and talk about these other things. You get in these other rooms and everything is just focused on one topic constantly, and it's just I don't think that's necessary in order to hold a productive room.
Later, everyone. Take care.
Things going on around us, at the same time. So,
thank you, High
coming
Function,
back.
bro.
Market maker, you too. I always enjoy your input. Everybody else in the room,
Awesome,
thanks for coming out
possum.
or hanging
All right, so
out.
we're gonna go ahead
Thanks for
and
listening.
appreciate everybody
we'll catch you
stopping
next
by. Go
Let's
ahead
go.
and smash that subscribe button, like, comment down
Later,
below.
everyone. Take
As you
care.
guys have seen, my goal is to go ahead and start pushing a little bit
Thank you,
more
Hype.
onto the Twitter Spaces. So if you enjoy that, go ahead and smash that like button and that subscribe. Let's go ahead and definitely keep in touch. And most importantly, go ahead and support the channel. As you see, I'm doing anything that I can for all of you who are subscribed to me. I'm trying to get as much information, trying to pick different brains, trying to do a little bit of everything for you. So definitely go ahead and show some support on that end. And yeah, let me go ahead and let's go ahead and chill for a minute or so. And we're gonna go ahead and head over back onto the stream for a few more minutes.
And we'll grow in number, fueled by thunder.
let me go ahead and run to the restroom break real quick. Music is going to be playing. I'm going to be off camera, but I'll be right back. Give me a minute.
Superhero. Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all, standing tall. Fear I weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Rising with each beat of the music is bringing. We're flames in the fire that keeps burning. We're inviting the night in. Welcome, my heart so full, I'm devoting myself to the night. There's no motive, we're just listening, we're existing. We stay when the music plays, let's drop below where the people sway. Rising with each beat of the music is bringing. We're flames in the fire that keeps burning. We're inviting the night in. Welcome, my heart so full, I'm devoting myself to the night. There's no motive, we're just listening, we're existing. We stay when the music plays, let's drop below where the people sway.
Back, everyone. I heard that 11 seconds recording. It is the same guy as the dev for PEPE 2.0. No way, bro. No way. What project is it? Is it the WAGMI? It's the same guys as PEPE2. No way, bro. That is interesting. Pablo, I want you to go ahead and check out, because you know we're in my live stream now. We could go ahead and discuss whatever we want, but I definitely want you to go ahead and check out Hoppy. I don't know. Rumors are that supposedly is the same exact development team from Pepe 2.0. I don't know how official that is, and I'm not sure if it's true or not. But something that I found very interesting is that Hoppy did pump to 12 million market cap, and then it dumped about 80%. Very similar move to what Pepe 2.0 has done. So I don't know. That's just rumors. I mean, look at this. Almost similar pattern. Hoppy is almost doing the similar pattern as well, you know. So I would just suggest everybody to go ahead and check that out. I do not know any confirmations on that, but I would definitely, I don't know. You know, I don't want to start rumors or anything, but I mean, Pablo is saying himself that he heard the 11 seconds of the recording of the WAGMI, and it's the same guy as the developer of Pepe 2.0. So let's go ahead and see what's going on with WAGMI. Hopefully I can go ahead and make sure it's the right one. We are gonna make it. For all you that don't know, that's what WAGMI means. We are gonna make it. I wonder which one it is. I wonder if it's this one 2 months ago. It can't be this one. I wonder if it's Wojak or this one. I don't know, but if you guys have a smart contract to it, go ahead and comment down below to it. Would definitely want to go ahead and check that out. But yeah, that is quite interesting. A lot of good things are coming up, guys. A lot of networking in the back ends. You will be seeing a lot more collaborations. You saw what just happened right now with the Twitter space. You know, we could go ahead and do something like that. So right now, like I mentioned, overall, my goal is, I'm checking the volume right now. Sorry about that. Let's see. We'll just turn it off for now. So the goal is overall to go ahead and collaborate with a lot of other communities, a lot of other projects, a lot of other people, a lot of other influencers. Whatever the case is, the goal is to go ahead and do it. So most importantly, go ahead and follow me at ALTCOIN John on Twitter, and most importantly, go ahead and smash that like button and comment down below another project you want me to go ahead and talk about. So I mean, we live streamed earlier. We're not going to go ahead and do too much going on right now at the moment. I think right now, with everything that's going on in the market, we're seeing the sentiment being quite interesting. There could be a pump coming up with Hoppy. It does seem like there might be a small reversal looking at the 4 hourly. It did get rejected around the high level of resistance. So let's go ahead and see if we could go ahead and break through that. We did have a pump in the last day of I think a little bit over 1 or 2x. So that is quite interesting. We're gonna have to go ahead and see how that's going on that end. And then we're, like I said, I don't know. I think this might be the same developers from Pepe 2.0. Just saying, I don't know. I can't confirm it, but I think that might be it. And as far for Gary, it looks like this thing is just being a straight rug at the moment. It looks like it's a little light rug pull going on right now. Slow rug. This is what a slow rug usually looks like. And the only buys and sells you mostly see are just the bots themselves. So I don't know. We'll see where things go. You know, it looks like I took an L on that one, but hopefully Hoppy and Pepe 2.0 go ahead and help that out with that portfolio that's not looking the best now, right? But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Pepe, the original one, see what we're looking at. It does look like a potential breakout could be actually happening. So let's go ahead and see where it goes. Hopefully we could go ahead and have that breakout. You know, the whole goal is to just go ahead and make as many lines as possible, and hopefully we could go ahead and hit it on the right nail, right? I'm just kidding. Go ahead and make sure to, what was I gonna say? Go ahead and make sure to support the channel by using the MEXC link down below, up to 200x leverage. I think it's been quite a long stream, about an hour and 40 minutes, considering the fact that I have live streamed already. Go ahead and smash that like button, please. As you guys can see, we've been going live, literally back to back, literally just streamed over 9 hours ago. So I've been really active on these lives. So go ahead and make sure to follow the channel. Most importantly, like I always say, smash that like and comment, and let me know and chill the next project you want me to go ahead and check out. But it looks like it's we don't have any more news to go ahead and talk about. Unless anything pops out, I'll definitely go ahead and keep everybody updated. But make sure to, what was I gonna say? See, I'm already forgetting what I'm saying due to the fact that we've been live streaming quite a long time. We've been talking a lot. It was a very fun, interesting space today. You know, not that many people showed up, but we did get some action going, and people did realize to go ahead and actually hop on the chat. You know, it's barely today, Friday or Saturday, depending on where you're watching, where from, and where at. And it seems like some people did turn up, considering the fact that it might be a weekend coming up. So it's good to see some people in there. Hopefully we can go ahead and capture a new audience. That's the goal overall. But a lot of big things are coming up around the corner. Just go ahead and make sure to stay tuned. And if you enjoy this content, a lot more videos are going to be coming out. See, I don't even know what I'm saying now, because I'm like just rumbling all over the place due to the fact that so much has been happening and so much went on today on today's space, and I'm just kind of blown away about, you know, Pablo saying that WAGMI is the same developer as PEPE 2.0. So this is insane, dude. Like, it's crazy. I don't know. It's not bad news. It's not good news. It's just, you know, impressive, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know what to say anymore. But we're gonna go ahead and end the live stream now. Enjoyed everybody for coming in. Like I said, I'll keep everybody updated with any news, but it does seem like PEPE 2.0 might be having a new developer coming in the line. So I'll go ahead and catch everyone on to the next one. Like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys soon.